The Congress Party's working committee met today to deliberate on the strategy for the upcoming 2024 general election. Remember, this is the first big meeting of the party's leaders after the recently held assembly polls that came as a blow to the party after it saw defeat in Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan. Of course, it did form the government in Telangana, but the defeat in the Hindi-speaking states has been disappointing for the Congress. Let me go across to my colleague Sunil Prabhu, who has been covering the Congress for many years. Sunil, how do you see the Congress's position today? We keep hearing of the CWC meeting happening quite often, but today, of course, there is a special agenda. How important do you think today's CWC is in the given political and social context?
Well, they've given the go-ahead basically for starting with alliances at the state level, specific to various states, and that's, I think, the most important with India alliance partners, and to firm it up as soon as possible. The screening committees as well as the manifesto committees, which are basically key ingredients for any ahead of a 2024 elections, those are being constituted immediately, as well as, of course, state level workers meetings to be taking place. There was no discussion on Mr. Kharge's name as the Prime Minister's face, something that was suggested by Mamata Banerjee and endorsed by Arvind Kejriwal. So they didn't want that embarrassment at this stage to discuss that. But definitely Rahul Gandhi's east to west yatra, the Bharat Jodo 2.0 is something that I think the party is keen that he undertakes, and there will be that formal announcement in a few days for it to carry on, to help it rejuvenate, reconnect with its workers, and hopefully make an impact ahead of the 2024 elections.
Thank you, Sunil, for joining us with those details. So, Sunil Prabhu reporting that the Congress Working Committee did not discuss Mallikarjun Kharge's name as Prime Ministerial face for opposition alliance. Rahul Gandhi will meanwhile undertake the second edition of Bharat Jodo Yatra. That also was discussed. The CWC also stressed that there must be alignment in seat sharing with India alliance partners. This is what has happened. We also have Aditi Phadnis and Rashid Kidwai, both senior journalists and political analysts, joining us on the future of the Congress and the importance of today's CWC. Mr. Kidwai, tell us, this CWC is coming at a very interesting time, because we saw the opposition allies meeting, we saw the Congress come up with this crowdfunding drive, we saw Congress even making changes in organization in MP and Chhattisgarh. They have this massive rally coming up in Nagpur. So clearly the party seems to be making some changes. What are the key takeaways and challenges that the party would be facing now in the context of today's CWC?
I think also the main important thing is what it is not doing. Look at Rajasthan. It has not set its house in order. We do not know what is the role for Ashok Gehlot, what is the role for Sachin Pilot. So, in terms of, learning any lessons which Mr. Kharge said in his opening remarks, clearly it is not showing, on the ground. There is no sense of urgency in the sense that, when Mamata Banerjee and Arvind Kejriwal have taken a position that there should be a Prime Ministerial candidate and Mr. Kharge's name was mentioned, the Congress could have given a structured response to it. It's not there. That's what I'm saying in terms of election preparation, common minimum program, election management mechanism, etc. There is no sense of urgency. And one last thing from my side is the role for Rahul Gandhi. This Yatri business, this Yatra is always high on optics and little on substance. We have seen that it created a lot of goodwill, etc. But the results are not so visible where Congress required most. That is in the Hindi heartland, where the Congress and BJP are at the loggerheads in over 200 Lok Sabha seats. So clearly, from east to west, it will be again Mr. Rahul Gandhi will be making several talking points. But is it going to convert into seats and Lok Sabha seats? I'm not so sure.
Right. Aditi ma'am, at a point like this, where the Congress is right now, do you think a Bharat Jodo Yatra Part 2 by Rahul Gandhi might help the party regain its lost ground? And what more can Rahul Gandhi do to sort of at least get some sense of, to at least send out a reassuring message to his party cadre?
We will be getting a full debriefing in a couple of hours. So what was said and what was unsaid will come out in a few hours. But I'm quite amazed because such a massive defeat in the assembly election has taken place. There seems to be, it's as if it never happened. It's business as usual. The second phase of the Bharat Jodo Yatra was never, I mean, it was always discussed and it was always on the cards. And it seems that it's, as I said, business as usual. I mean, it's just uh, what the Congress president called a temporary setback being actualized. What happened in the assembly election was not a temporary setback; it was a major setback. It really, I mean, belied all hopes and expectations of the Congress, and the Congress is unfazed apparently.
Right. So that's a very good point, actualizing the temporary setback. Mr. Kidwai, what do you think, sir? And also in the last few days, we did see a lot of regional parties sort of, in some ways, in their own ways, tell the Congress that, the party might not be all enough to give a straight fight to the BJP. And today, when I was witnessing the protests by Congress leaders, I did feel that the party was trying to prove a point that it does have it in it to sort of take on the BJP. So, of course, there's been no consensus except the name. Do you think this CWC would be enough, or more meetings like this would be enough for the party to try and become the central force within the India alliance?
Yeah, I think also the real problem with the Congress is that you see the CWC share going by the size of it has become very unwieldy. If you have 80 plus members, it is very difficult to have some kind of serious and sharp discussion. So what happens in this such a meeting, that people start praising the top leadership, that being Gandhi's and Mr. Kharge, and a lot of word plays there, and substantive issue talks are not held. For instance, you look at the whole issue of soft Hindutva that was practiced in Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan, in Chhattisgarh, and badly boomerang. So Congress, unless the Congress sharpens its ideological positions on the key economic, social issues, etc., the Congress is not going to be successful against the BJP. The Ram Temple inauguration is coming. What is the Congress response to it? So I think I was expecting that there would be some threadbare manner, some kind of discussion would be there on sensitive, emotive issues and how to respond to it, some kind of way forward. Clearly, Bharat Jodo Yatra is not a way forward. It's you're going at a beaten path, something you have already done. Rahul Gandhi cannot improve upon it. So it's just going to, as I said, high on optics and little on substance.
Right. Aditi ma'am, today we saw the RSS also come out with a statement on caste census, in a way not welcoming it but not opposing it either. Then we have this major Ram Temple inauguration happening, so there are going to be identity issues. How challenging is it going to get for the Congress to deal with something like this? Also, this major challenge of seat sharing. Today I hear that the CWC did talk about seat alignment and said that there needs to be sharing with India partners, but the experience of the assembly campaigns did not tell us that Congress is very magnanimous when it comes to seat sharing.
Well, seat sharing is about sharing. It's not about magnanimity. So let us be realistic about that. A committee has been set up. People have been identified who will reach out and negotiate with the partners. How strong these people are in their own fields and whether the partners will deign to talk to them after this kind of assembly election defeat, we still have to see. I think issues of identity have always been at the center of dilemmas for the Congress. I mean, how are they going to handle, as Rashid said, how are they going to handle the Ram Temple invitation? The RSS has equivocated on caste census, but Rahul Gandhi has said repeatedly that there has to be a caste census and people have to be given seats in proportion to the castes they represent. Well, in that case, I mean, Marathas are the most important caste in Maharashtra politics. So are you going to give all seats to Marathas in Maharashtra? This is a very complicated issue. And I think some internal discussion in the Congress was warranted before Rahul Gandhi committed the party to this position.
That's very interesting. Mr. Kidwai, your response to that, I mean, at least some discussions, internal discussions in the party on the reservation comment that, Mr. Gandhi has had made earlier. And also, sir, how do you, I mean, this whole discussion around Mr. Kharge's name, do you think India Alliance can do with a face to counter Mr. Modi? Also, to counter the aspirational ability or the sentiment that he invokes, it would be better to counter somebody like him with a face, or do you think that would not be a good idea?
Yes, Vasudha. I think in some ways, Mr. Kharge's candidature is a very good cover for the entire opposition. He's not a contender. His caste background, his experience, and all. So that and also it's a very important signal to Mayawati whether how she responds and Dalit votes, etc. So I think, but the Congress has to back Mr. Kharge to a hilt, and so that all other political parties come together and they fight with a sense of urgency. What we see is that absence of a political role for both Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi. Rahul Gandhi seems to be doing sometimes he raises, as Aditi Fadnis was saying, about caste reservation, etc. When his own party is not one on it. So it's all right to have courage of conviction, but you need to have backers, you need to have talking point, you need to have OBC leaders should be talking about OBC reservation, and you need to have all the data science and statistics, etc. There's no homework when Rahul Gandhi,
Right.
announces these such measures, and that is the biggest lacuna. Look at Priyanka Gandhi; she's a very effective campaigner, but
Right.
look what happened in Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, etc. Her campaigning skill provided no dividend. So
Right.
role for Priyanka, role for Rahul Gandhi is very, very essential and urgent.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Kidwai. Thank you, Ms. Fadnis, for joining us. So many challenges ahead of the Congress, even as it sits and consults with top leadership at its CWC, and also introspects the great defeats that it faced in the recent assembly elections in the Hindi-speaking states. That's all we have for you in this bulletin. Stay tuned to NDTV for more news and updates.